what was it that made you decide to invest in coaching with me?
I have been, it's so funny because I think a lot of people assume that when you go vegan, you're gonna automatically become, super skinny. I hear that a lot. Like it's just that's what's gonna happen right away because you're not getting enough protein and all this other stuff. That isn't what happened with me. If anything, I gained a few pounds when I became vegan, um, and some of that, a lot of that was not muscle. So I just was kind of becoming bummed out with the way my body looked, with the way I felt in my body. I really felt like I was constantly paying attention and constantly sort of brought down by how I felt about my body. It really kind of, it was, the thoughts were almost intrusive. Um, and of course, at the same time, I was going through menopause, so I couldn't really figure out what was related to all of that, emotionally, what was going on. So it really just, it became not just an issue of, I was carrying around this extra anywhere between 10 and 20 pounds, depending what time of year it was. But I also was finding myself more and more preoccupied with it to the point where I really was kind of depressed about it, and obsessed, depressed, whatever you want to say about it. I just really felt bad about it. And to me, the answer was, all right, well, I have to take off this 10 or 20 pounds. This is what I have to do. I found your website years ago. I was always interested in your work because you're one of the few people who are both, of course, you look physically fantastic, but you're also a very compassionate vegan, and that's what it's all about for you. And as I understand it, and I do know that this is the case, you didn't become vegan for your health. You're vegan because you care about animals, and I can relate to that completely. So many people that I spoke to about losing weight, their attitude was, you're not going to eat even just a little meat. I had people, I had a doctor, medical doctor, tell me he wouldn't work with me. I had some friends that lost considerable amount of weight with this doctor. I emailed him. I was willing to spend the resources to work with him, and his answer was, "I can't work with you. You're vegan." And this happened, in a variety of different settings. I also took a food addiction course so that I could extend my practice to help people with food addictions, a very real issue, sugar addiction, food addiction, of course, and it, not only breaks hearts, but it kills people. So I took a food addiction course, and their whole attitude was one of sort of, mm, they were gonna they would deal with the fact that I was a vegan, and it was all just this kind of like almost patronizing attitude of, okay, you're gonna figure out that this is not the way to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to take in protein. The food addiction literature all says you have to eat meat with every meal. I had, one-on-one work with other people who kind of subtly implied that I was going to need to eat meat and need to tell my clients to eat meat in order to do this. So it's all very frustrating. So a variety of different factors led me back to you. So, we started communicating. You were so generous with your time, and we started talking about all of it, and I agreed to work with you. And my thought at the beginning of it was, all right, I'm going to lose this weight. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to maybe look just a little bit more like Ella and a little bit less like my middle-aged self. That was my feeling.